Rev up your engines! Today I got a customer with a 2009 Kia Forte. He had to buy it used because someone stole his Camry. Yes, people do steal them. He even has a video from the parking lot of these guys going, and they stole both his Camry and his wife's Honda Civic right next to each other. They had little videos of them fooling around, and they drove both cars out. So he had to buy something, and he bought this. And now he's wondering, should he keep this or not? Well, I did the usual scan tool, and the only codes it really had that were hard were for anti-lock brake system wasn't working right because the wheel speed sensors weren't functioning. 3 of the 4 were bad, so that, not a reason to get rid of a car. Now, since there were no codes, check engines lights not on, and other than the stupid codes for the wheel speed sensors, start's kind of odd, so let's start by checking the battery on the starter. Get it on the positive terminal tight and the negative terminal tight. And in this case, 600 cold cranking amps. So we'll go to the machine. We'll set in vehicle battery test, top post, regular, cold cranking. And it's 600, so we'll bump it down to 600. You gotta check them correctly. There we go, 600, and enter. Says there's a surface charge detected, so we'll turn on the headlights. Okay, they're on. The machine knows they're on, now it says turn them off. So we'll turn them off. Retesting it, definitely above 32. I'm in short sleeve shirts, and the result is the battery's good, but it needs to be recharged. Now this often happens in vehicles that sit too much, but we're gonna test the alternator now, make sure it's not the problem. So we'll get back here, start engine, we'll start her up. It says the cranking voltage is normal, means the starter's okay. See, cranking voltage normal, starter's okay. So now we press enter again, and it's showing that it's charging 14.27 volts, which is pretty good, but we need to do more. So now we're gonna rev the engine like it says. Then press enter. Now it says put the loads on, so we'll put that on, we'll put the blower on. And we'll start it again. We'll rev it up again. And we'll push enter and see what happens. Analyzing data. It's normal. So I figured out a bunch of stuff now. The battery needs recharging, it's low. But the alternator's putting out the right power. For some reason, the battery's just not fully charged. I'm assuming the customer isn't driving it enough and it sits awful long time. You can see, you look at the paint, it's all dirty, has bird poop on it, so it probably sits a lot. And in that case, if you have a car like this, get yourself a battery charger. You know, weekend once in a while, plug it in and give it a full charge, because cars do need to be recharged a lot, and if you don't use them all the time, the battery will show low and you can get problems from that. But of course, there could be a battery drain that's draining the battery. So I'm going to get my clamp on meter. We're going to turn it on to the small setting here. And then we look at it. You notice it says AC. So what we have to do is we have to select here. Now it's DC because we want to measure DC. Right here, we have to zero it. Now it's 0, and we'll clamp it on and see what kind of a drain it has. These machines are so accurate. They pick up stray stuff. So, in the area you're working, once you put it to DC, you have to zero it so you get a true reading. Then when you clamp it on, you'll see how much drain exists. And in this case, it's 0.008, which isn't much. And that's very little for a modern car. A normal drain can be up to 0.05. And this is way below that. It didn't even make to the 0.01. It's 0.008. So it's very little drain. So there's not a drain. I'm assuming he just doesn't drive it enough and the battery needs to be charged up. My Celica's turned into a car like that. I don't use it that much anymore. I put the battery charger on it 2 or 3 times a year to charge it up good, and then it starts fine, and then when it doesn't, I just recharge it, because I know I'm not driving that much. So these meters are great for finding drain. Just remember, you can see it's got a reading now. Always zero it before you do the reading in the area. Otherwise, see, even in the area here, this stuff. There we go. Now it's zeroing. But you move it around. It picks up stray electricity from all over the place. So we'll continue to check stuff. And look at this. It still has a transmission dipstick. I love this. Most cars don't have them anymore. This one does. That's a plus. We'll check the engine oil. It's full. Smells like oil, doesn't smell like gasoline. From diluted gasoline, means the engine's in decent shape. So we'll close the hood, take it for a spin. We'll see how she starts up. Starts up pretty good. We'll back her up. A few odd noises here and there, typical for an older Kia. Now it's only got 74,733 miles on it. Now we'll see how it accelerates. Well, we can't do it right now. There's some idiot in the road decides to block the road. What a moron. Here we go. Makes a lot of noise like a Kia. Not great acceleration, but the transmission feels smooth enough for one of these. And as we hit bumps, you can feel the bumps, but no more than usual for one of these things. They're not that smooth riding, but it's not losing steering control, and it rides normal for one of these things. Now, I feel the main problem the customer has with this car is he had his Camry stolen, and he replaced it with this. Now, even though the Camry was 8 years older than this, it rode 100% better, smoother transmission, more power. He was just in a hurry because his cars were stolen and he had to get a car. For one of these Kias, this one is actually in very good shape. You just have to understand what you're getting when you're buying one of these. And sure, this thing has 4 doors like the Camry, but that's about the only real similarity. Rides a little bit rough. There's nothing wrong with the car as a transportation car. It's nothing like the Camry, but he's got it. He might as well just take care of it. It's an Econobox car, a good enough Econobox car. Now, I mean, if you're going from a Camry to this, sure, you're not going to be satisfied. The only thing you might be satisfied with is the gas mileage, that it didn't cost that much to buy. You're not going to be overly satisfied because the Camry is a nice, luxurious ride. These things aren't. That isn't the car's problem. That's that you might expect too much from one of these cars. Don't. You want cheap, relatively reliable transportation. It's only got 70-something thousand miles. It's a perfectly good car for that. Just don't expect a smooth ride, smooth shifting, and better handling. That's not going to happen in one of these things. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Mark Vegas says, Scotty, are the newer Lexus vehicles as reliable as the older ones? Well, generally they are, because a lot of them are still made in Japan. Now, they make them in Cambridge, Ontario, but the Canadians do a good job. But realize Toyota owns Lexus, same company, and they have a recall for a bunch of their fuel pumps now. And they're not telling old Scotty why. So then maybe they'll find out that, hey, we made all the fuel pumps wrong. I don't know, because they won't tell me. So I don't know exactly what's wrong, other than there's a fuel pump problem. So if they do figure it out, maybe they'll better fuel pumps in the new ones in a few months, and then they won't have the problem that those have. But I'd hold out on a new one until then. And anyways, I'd never buy a new car. I'm too cheap. You lose too much money buying a new car. There's plenty of good used ones out there. Tyler Studi says, should I go with a 4-6-cylinder Tacoma? I don't do any towing or be using as daily driver some light hauling. Oh, go with a 4-cylinder. That's what my son did. He found out that the pulling capacity of the 4 versus 6 isn't really that different anyway. And the 4s, they cost less. They're solid, reliable engines. They can actually last longer than the 6-cylinder engine. So yeah, definitely get the 4. And the automatic transmissions are pretty dependable in them too. It's not like Toyota makes bad automatic transmissions. So, but I would go the 4. It's a lot cheaper too. Andres Campos said, what's a good scanner that can be seen on a phone or a tablet? I like the Blue Driver. These Canadian guys, they do good software. Now they're made in China, but they're designed and engineered in Canada. And they're like 99 bucks. They go on a smartphone and they do an awful lot for $99. I've had people and other companies promise me stuff that say, oh, they do all this and that. Then I find out they really don't do everything that they said. The Blue Driver guys does pretty much what they say. Plus, they're nice guys. If you got a problem, you can actually call them up in the weekdays and they'll talk to you. They will actually talk to you, which shocks the heck out of me. I've talked to their engineers. When they do have a glitch, I'd say, you know, you got this glitch, and they end up fixing it later. So, you know, for 99 bucks, the Blue Driver one, I think it's probably the best out there for something like that, you know, because it basically is as good as some of the $250 hand scanners that I have, and of course you can use it on your phone. They don't have to build all the hardware. They're just building a dongle, and the software runs the whole thing. I understand, especially if you got an Android. I'm an Android man, because you can use them on cars, even my laptop. That's why you can get some of these aftermarket company software, put it on your phone or your laptop, and if you look at the files, they're not that big. Well, that's because they're just activating a bunch of software that's already in yours. That's why I like Androids. You know, the Apple stuff, it's really garbage for car analytics. It really is. James Self says, Scotty, do you ever wear a suit? Yeah, you know, I'm a typical mechanic. I wear suits at weddings and funerals. That's it, you know? I got a good suit in there, you know. I used to wear them to award ceremonies and stuff when I was on television, when I won an Emmy and stuff. But I mean, that's a lot of hoo-ha. You know, what you see is what you get. People meet me on the street, they got on a garage shirt or a Scotty shirt or a t-shirt or something. To me, somebody's wearing a suit, they're trying to pull a fast one on you. You know, they got some angle that they want to get, trying to get something out of you. I'm not into that stuff. I think it's stiff. It's not real. It's certainly not me. But weddings and funerals, well, you do it for the respect of the people there. So that I'll do. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.